Hello all. Alright, in my last video I was trying to get this iron, uh, I don't even know what to call it, the Marchand Colliery, which produces iron. I was trying to get that maxed out. So I've now maximized its upgrades so it can't upgrade anymore. We're making 4 cars per week, and I have a bunch of trains on there, 7 trains going, all going to Poitiers. Now Poitiers did allow me to expand my steel industry. I can't expand it any further. It's not making a whole lot, but it is making a little bit. Um, so I have a couple of trains sitting here that are basically
Oh
being
no,
loaded.
it looks like one of your trains has a problem.
Fortunately, right now I have 2 trains that are being loaded with steel because I can't make it fast enough. Now, Poitiers is growing. As you can see, the fulfillment of demand is 83%, so it's growing, which is good. And I think that's what allowed me to expand my industry, is that as the city grew, it allowed me to expand. So hopefully it'll keep expanding. We shall see. Um, but I maxed out the coal mine over here as well as the iron coming in. So as you can see, our warehouse is actually full of coal. It's starting to fill up with iron, and then as that's being produced, it's then converting it to steel, and then the steel is being loaded directly onto trains. So I've got 2 trains sitting here, um, both headed to warehouse 8 that's near Le Havre, and those are going to eventually turn into tools. Now, if we go back over to Le Havre here, let's see, you recently acquired this. Okay, so if we go back over to Le Havre, we can see that the steel is growing. It does have plenty of lumber, so the lumber is not an issue. Um, and then it's got wood. So at this point, we could go ahead and start making tools. Now, I did buy this meat industry. I'm going to go ahead and demolish it. And then I'm going to put a tool maker in its place. So tools, we're just going to pop it right over there. And as you can see, tool makers, it needs lumber and it needs iron. It has both of those readily available. I don't need to expand the lumber anymore because it's got plenty of lumber, but I am going to expand the tool makers. Doesn't hurt to go ahead and expand it a little more, because one of our tasks is to deliver 150 loads of tools to Besançon. Now I don't have a while that's being all worked on. So the tools are being made. The let's see, the tools are being made, and the steel is being made in Poitiers. I'll go ahead and connect up Besançon. So they have a military depot that needs tools. I will go ahead and build a station here and have it connected up. That way, by the time it is ready, we got Dijon over there, and then we've got Nancy to the north. I think I'm going to hook it up to Nancy uh, first. It doesn't really matter.
A station here? How carefully did you consider that?
We're going to hook that up. That way, as the tools are being made, I can go ahead and get them shipped straight over to Besançon. And as you can see, they're starting to get made, which is nice. Now, what I could do is I could go ahead and stick a You know what? I am gonna do something. So I do have this
Oh dear, there
this.
seems to be a little
Oh,
problem with one of your locomotives.
oh, I wish she'd shut up. I do have that one train that's shipping over the lumber over to the warehouse. At this point, it's probably not needed as much, so I'm going to reconvert that. And actually, I'm just going to delete it because I'm going to. Well, I was going to reconvert it into something else, but let me. I deleted that and then I got turned around. Where am I? Okay, now we've made it back to Le Havre. I don't know how I ended up with that crazy route. Okay, so I'm going to create a train. I don't want to do this too much because it'll sit here on the tracks, but I'm going to go Le Havre to Besançon. It's going to be tools, nothing else. Full, and then in Besançon, I don't care what it brings back to Le Havre. It can bring back whatever it wants, but when it goes, I only want it to take tools. So I think we are gonna, yes, we're gonna go there. That way it can start. So actually it's already got a full load of tools, which is good. Is that the one? Yeah, so it's got enough tools. My guess is it doesn't have enough iron. Yeah, it doesn't really have enough iron to keep making more tools, but hopefully, so we've got that going. Let's go down and check out our steel production in Poitiers. Where's old Poitiers? Steel production here. Okay, so this is interesting. I could expand, just do... I'm going to expand our steel there. It's not going to let me do it again. But that's good. Now we keep going. That's what we need. We got those one. That's filling up with steel. We just don't have enough. You know, it's slow in making steel, but we do have plenty of iron and plenty of coal, so that's not an issue. You know, at this point I could also try making something else here. So for example, what else could it might use? Olive oil, because there are olives right there. Why don't I do that? Let's put in an olive oil factory. It'll make it happy because we can bring in olives and olive oil. It'll have both in Poitiers to help it to grow. So we'll put in an oil mill there. And we'll just ship in a... I think what I'll do is I'll add olives to this.
Let me show you how it's done. Shouldn't you also leave a bit of room for more efficient
you know
rail
what?
systems?
I didn't think about it, but it's actually going to be... it's going to go through that mountain. I don't really have... I'm going to see if I can make this work. Alright, there we go. I swear to God, I'm going to buy that lady's... business and put her out of business because she's so annoying. She's super annoying. Okay, so we've got some olives. Let's construct our maintenance building. Let's get olives coming in Rousseau Manor over to this warehouse. It's gonna hop on that track, make sure they're full trains, I'll maybe put 3, 2, 3. That way it's got 3 trains coming in. Come on, Poitiers, keep on growing. I still can't expand my steel industry.
Oh, don't make such a fuss. A bit of bad
It's all
press
good.
never hurt anyone.
So that one's just about full. Once it fills up, it will head on out to the warehouse. Ugh. Who's this blue? Is that the Beatrix? I swear to God, I'm gonna. Now look at this. Oh, I'm worth, my company is 72 million francs, hers is 11. I certainly don't have enough to buy her outright. I'd need 16, 17 million. But how much could I? 6 plus 5. I could do that. That puts me very close to being able to buy her out. She's so annoying. I just want to do it.
You can't go wrong investing in my company.
Oh, I'll keep on. I'll come back later after I have some more money. I'm going to put her out of business and then completely liquidate her. She's super annoying. Okay, things are looking good. Plenty of coal, plenty of iron. Steel is not being made fast enough. But we don't have any trains here taking steel out. That means both of I have 3 trains full of steel going to the warehouse in Le Havre. I'm going to go ahead and clone another train. So this will be 4 trains going to Le Havre. And there it is. Okay, things are looking very good. I'm happy with the way they're going. But I am thinking about...
Oh dear, there seems to be a little problem with one of your locomotives.
Now eventually I'm going to need to get over to Nantes, which is where I have to deliver steel to. Is that right? The military depot needs steel in Nancy. Or Nantes. But it's basically going to... I'm just looking to see what's the... There's actually not really a good way to get to Nantes from there. I could get to Paris, but I'd have to go into Caen. Actually, no, I have to go all the way to Le Havre. And then into Caen. This is kind of a crazy path. So I'm going to do another little tricky thing. I don't know how tricky it is actually, but we're just going to take this. We're going to fly straight up there and hook in to there. This way I have a more direct path to get to Nantes from Poitiers. Alright, so that way when that train is coming up here, instead of hooking over to this main line, it can hook up into
Hopefully you are aware of the enormous military
into this line, go through Paris and then over
any war
to
has been
Nancy.
waged and won in recent years in which not the combatant emerged victorious who had the most efficient railway network. These bon vivants in Paris might not know how to value the service we have provided here in France. They would probably be aware of the necessity as soon as Bismarck would be back in front of Paris. I have to grant one thing to Bismarck. At least He has his bunch under control and barely has to care about his parliamentarians. We could need such an iron fist in France, too.
All right, I'm just taking a quick look. I'm trying to find the best way to get to Nantes, or to get to Nantes, really. All right, I'm gonna create a better route that's gonna go like here. Like that. I think that's going to be a better path. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Let's get this redone. Okay, so we got that. All right, so this path is already produced because it's coming, so from Poitiers, so actually I'm going to run it out of the warehouse. So the warehouse is going to hook up at here, it's going to run down here through Bourget, down this line, cut across here, it's going to hit here. Then when it gets about here, it's going to actually, we're going to create another cutover where it's going to go straight like that and then hook up to this main line between Paris and Nantes. This is going to give me a direct path into from the warehouse at Poitiers that makes steel over to Nantes. That way we can start feeding that military depot. All right, now let's just go back and we are going to start that. Let's create a train. Freight, warehouse 7 to Nancy. Let's follow the orange path, make sure it does what we wanted it to. It looks like it is exactly what we predicted. 227 days, so it's going to take a long time. It is going to take only steel, 8 cars, nothing else. Okay. And then in Nancy, you know, I don't care what it brings back, so I'm going to say, hey, Nancy, after that, if you want to come to, because you're going to go through Bourget, I'm going to say go to Bourget, but then in Bourget, you're going to take nothing, because I want you to be empty when you come back to Warehouse 7. Okay, so you're going to go Warehouse 7, full of steel, take it to Nancy. Nancy, pick up whatever you want to take to Bourget. Then at Bourget, you're going to dump everything out, and then empty, go to Warehouse 7. That's exactly what I want. There we go.
You really should pay more attention to the maintenance of your locomotives.
And it's already enough steel so it can go. I'm going to clone that and send a second train. And as you can see, it doesn't have enough because there's not enough steel. Okay? But that's okay because we still can't expand it. It's all good. But at this point, we've got tools being made. Tools are being made in Le Havre. Let's take a quick look. We've got, it's waiting on steel, but it's got plenty of lumber. And is this the, nope, that's not the right one. I was just looking to see that train that's going to Besançon. It's right there, so it's actually... Oh, that's right. It's I was confused because I'm like, why is it full of bread? It's actually full of bread because it is bringing bread back to Besançon. Or I'm sorry, it's bringing bread back to Le Havre, and then it's going to fill up with tools and take it back. Okay, I'm not confused anymore. I've stopped losing my mind. Now, does it have any tools available to take? It does have tools, so I'm going to go ahead and clone that so that it can get those tools out of there, because I want those tools. I don't want La Habra to stop making tools. So take those tools. Oops, sorry. All right, so now we're at 6 tools. As you can see, it's got some iron. It's got plenty of lumber, iron, and then the warehouse actually has plenty of lumber as well. So at this point, we're really just waiting on the steel that's coming from Poitiers, and we can see there's oh no, yeah, that's at Poitiers. All right, so now that's interesting. Where did it go? So that's getting out of there. I don't know why that's being serviced here. I don't know why it's full of steel. It should have dropped that steel off at the warehouse.
One of your trains has a problem.
I want to take a look at it and see what's going to happen. It shouldn't be full of steel, because that steel should have been dropped off at the warehouse. So occasionally it does some crazy things. All right, so we have plenty of steel heading to warehouse 8. Okay, so that is all good. And then we also have the other steel that's going to Nancy. Now I'm gonna buy some more of her shares because I find her completely annoying. And she gave me her money. I'm going to merge it. Ooh. Liquidate everything.
How dare you throw me out of business? You should be ashamed of yourself.
I love it. Alright, she's super annoying, so I'm not terribly upset about doing that. Alright. Marsha, you got a newspaper business. Good for you. Oh, still not letting me upgrade my steel industry, which is just fine. I'm okay with that. Now let's see. I've got... Now I should have... Yeah, so these two are going to Nancy with steel, and then they'll stop at Bourget on the way back. I'm going to go ahead and add a 3rd train to that crazy mix-up, just so we can get that out of there. Might even clone it again. Why not? Just because I want it. I want it out of here. Alright. So things are looking good there. Let's keep going back to this warehouse. Still waiting on steel. And they are making tools, so things are looking good there. Let me take a look. That one's full of steel. That one's coming in full of steel. So it's close. That's close. That is being loaded. That one is heading back. Is that right? Yep. So that one is heading back. So we have 2 that are heading to the warehouse, and then 2 that are heading back to Poitiers to fill up. Actually, it looks like... Actually, one of them's already there loading up. Okay. So things are looking good there. Keep making those tools. How many tools have we delivered so far? We have delivered 8. That's not very exciting. But there is our second train heading into Besançon. So it's actually... We are now at 16 tools out of the 150. So the passengers from Nantes to Nantes, that's not an issue. We've got plenty of that. So that's going to easily be met. But at this point, it's really getting the steel to Nancy and the tools to Besançon. That's going to take time, only because we're just slowed down by the production of steel in Poitiers. And again, I'm looking just to make sure that we're not, you know, missing out on anything. In this case, it looks like we do have plenty of coal, plenty of iron, so the issue really is the limitation on how fast the steel can be made. And as you can see, the steel production, it's at 100%, but it doesn't let me upgrade it. Now I could try to build up the city some more, so let's look and see what other items it might need. Meat, bread, cloth, clothing. Maybe we run a a train. We'll do a freight from Nantes to Poitiers. Make sure that, yeah, that looks good. But I'm gonna make this a freight train. That way it will, yeah, it'll take some freight. It'll make Poitiers happy. Happy workers make more steel. So that is being loaded up with steel to head to make tools. Got plenty of stuff there. We've got plenty of... we've got 4 trains that are taking steel to Nancy. A couple that are coming back with bread. They're going to drop that bread off at Bouget. Yeah, they'll drop that bread off at Bouget and then head back to the warehouse to fill back up with steel. So those are looking good. I wish I could get that steel upgraded, but I apparently cannot. Now why? Oh, it's because we've maxed out on oil. Now once the train comes in from Nantes to Poitiers, it'll take that extra olive oil back to Nantes, because Nantes will want the olive oil, so they will take that without a problem. So that's good. This one is still waiting to fill up. Actually, both of these are sitting here loading up with steel. So at this point, I'm really just limited for that factor. I'm gonna see if maybe I can try to get some other items in. So who's making cloth and clothes? Now the booze is coming in from Nantes, the alcohol. Let's see, Le Mans, you are making bread and clothing. So let's see if we can. I'm just looking to see if there's an easy path. There's, there will be, I just don't know what it is yet. Alright, it got cut off there. I'll go ahead and end this video here. I am going to find a path to get to Le Mans down to Poitiers that's not like excessively long, and then I'm going to send a freight there, maybe take some bread and clothing or cloth over to Poitiers. That'll make them happy or happier. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way, because there's not really a solid path that goes there. It might go back down through Nantes and then back down. So I will worry about that, but I will come back in the next video with that. So until then, au revoir.